you know, it's just such a wrong way of doing it. And so adults are asking for the very thing that I just go, so what you're saying, for people to believe, I go, I just kind of go, well, to believe there's a possibility of it, and let's give it a go. All right, I'll be like, wow, yeah, okay, let's go. Let's really believe that. Well, yeah, this could have this great. Okay, fine, if you want to, but let's just get. No, I get what you're saying. I don't know. There's something in here which I'm not. It could be that I've just been burned, so I'm just like, yeah, a bunch of excited people, a small group of excited people, without a shadow of a doubt, will make this thing work. You're absolutely right.
Okay, so this is the kind of conviction I need, because otherwise we need to attract different people. If there was like a 10% likelihood that even engaged people wouldn't get it to work, then those people we attract wouldn't only have to be pioneers, but particularly playful ones, rather than, ooh, we trust the follower that this is the beginning of something big, definitely, if we keep the momentum going. It's a different message. And I need to know, because I'm just blindly trusting you, which one it is.
Oh, I don't know. What do you mean? I'm following you on this one. Okay, don't play that trick on me. Okay, you're the one who's going to make the decision. I can tell you though, engaging groups this year, although some of them are very welcoming, very nice, it's like nothing happens. Okay, it just there's no actual growth. I find groups very little growth. You have to learn what they're doing, and you're joining them, rather than if they recognize that the person's turning up is the vital learning person. The person turning up is the vital learning person. The momentum is pull. Because if we listen to the person that joins and we provide an experience for them that helps them, that generates revenue for them, that, you know, effortlessly, then they're just going to go, wow, this is amazing. I'm going to help somebody else. And they share it with these other people, and they're in service. So the new person we're in service to the next person. The give it forwards principle, pay it forwards. We're in service to the next person, not for the join us, you know, backwards in the past, me, you, whoever's in the beginning. It's like, who cares? Okay, I mean, it's like a tree. The cambium layer is on the outside. The xylem is effectively, well, it's like dead, and the water's just going up and down. But the living thing is the cambium layer with the bark. It's the new growth. And that's why, and that's how the internet grew at the scale it did. And any, you know, it's because the people that are joining are not just joining, they're actually growing when they're plugging in the computer. So when they register, look, Sqale's just grown, okay? And it's whether we help that person to do whatever it is that they're doing or we don't, okay? And trying to get that initial cambium layer, so that, it's just growing. It's a bit like that. So it's like the viral, but the social sticky side version of that. Sticky warmth, genuine, authentic, good, beautiful. And he's just, I don't know. I don't know if that's impossible. So
not only do people engage, but they do it. I'm trying to work out the variables of the success of Sqale. If we get people to engage with it. Now, my story was to come in is to fuel and highlight those hidden champions that make make a difference in the world. And that would be like content, the quality, more of a like touchy-feely kind of thing, or a value kind of thing, is I am happy to pay it forward. That's even a wrong word. I'm happy to help the next person. As a, it's almost, it's a related kind of piece, but it's separate. I'm happy to help the next person.
I'm happier when I help the next person.
Rather than just seeing my own efforts remunerated.
Yeah. I mean, it should be something as simple as, so, but you might need the bud. You know, the tree has a certain process. Part of the process is an acorn. It sits there and then it erupts, and there's a lot of energy contained in that seed. One bit goes up, one bit goes down, and then it has to break through the surface, and then it has to get to the point where there's a bloody leaf or two, and then if it gets a couple of leaves and it's sunny enough, oh, look, it's so we're alive, and then it starts to reproduce, and then you get the cambium layer business. So I think you're absolutely right. I think we do need to have this core team, seed team. You know, these are just words, but that needs to be going right. Woo! We are the tree. We are the tree. we are completely the tree. You know, that level of kind of like enthusiasm. I go, yeah, that'd be kind of cool. And I suspect that if you just get a few leaves, boop, 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 and the leaves mean more people, and all good things are happening. Oh, look, more leaves. Oh, look, more branches. Oh my God, we are the tree. So it's definitely, in terms of your process, I think you're absolutely right about the team why. Regarding the so the discerning of the core team, the early adopters, the pioneers, yes. So I hear what you're saying. You're trying to discern a little bit. It's almost like we want to, we have to find certain individuals so that little leaf that pops open is just like really good. And eventually we get flowers, you know, little flower things like wow, and then the insects come and say wow, and you know, lots of crazy things happening. But actually, did she? Yeah, wow. So yeah.
Okay, so there's a missing piece.
Okay.
Or the next piece that has to happen is a collection of all those things that you know and say here and there. For example, the driver doesn't only have to be, can't only be highlighting and fueling something good. There has to be something else in it. The one extra piece is giving as a joy. Even if I had this wonderful charity, I would still, to make it work inside of Sqale, find other people, potentially even competitors for the same kind of funding money, whatever. I would have to have the joy to pass it on. It's the movement of passing it on and not hoard it. I remember you saying, well, people that give you money, Franka, they're going to watch what you're going to do with the money. If you sit on it, they're not going to keep giving you money. So this is a big piece, and we need like to have a collection of those psychological pieces. And maybe there'll have to be like maybe a workshop, like a mindset kind of thing that I invite people into. Let's flex our giving muscle and really, because we've come from a capitalist world where it did make a difference whether money was on my bank account or yours. And I did have to like greedily funnel it my way so that I would be able to fund my old age, traveling or whatever. So I think I was going to say a space to detox. That's my sloppy way of saying it. Maybe it's okay to keep those old instincts alive and add that new thing, not you and I, not assuming that people will automatically enjoy giving, but really need to acknowledge how deeply, how deep those old ruts are, and how we've been manipulated into thinking that it was worth like having inactive resources in the Franka world for some time later, which is crazy. I know, but people, David, let me say this, and please maybe even mark the timestamp from about 5 minutes ago, because I think I'm onto something. This is something that needs to be acknowledged as a true mindset shift. So every now and then people might even enjoy the giving, but to make that the core piece of the economy, and for them to even play in a space where they replace that one mindset for the other, and where they get to experience that actually their former goals that they achieved in this old way are achieved even better in the new economy. But that is something we can just preach at them. This will be a piece of me having to decode what those paths will be. Maybe different paths for different individuals, but this might be not just talk at them kind of thing and then play with Sqale and all the other things we've been doing. I think we might have to like slow it right down and go right back to the individual neurons firing.
Sounds like your job. I mean, I've poked around over the years, and so when you're talking, it's like, yeah, you know, I've kind of been around the territory myself. So if we can get other people to get even close to the territory that I've been down, it's a joy. It's an unmitigated joy to sit there. I did anthropology at university, right? In fact, going back to the story in 2014, when I went, oh, look, I think you could just do this thing. You just give this thing. I was like, wow. And literally on a book, I was staying at a friend's house, and literally on the bookshelf, there was only a small bookshelf, and one of the books was Lewis Hyde, The Gift. And I was like, oh. So I took it, and I'd studied social anthropology, and I'd heard of, and I'd read the beginning maybe, of Marcel Mauss, 1927, called The Gift. And so there was another thing called The Gift, and I was like, oh, right, let's have a look. And the first introduction, the first chapter, was talking about the Indian gift, and literally describes the process that I just worked at. Okay. And it was beautiful, beautiful. So I would say that's, you know, if there was literature people had to read, go, just read that. And I knew I'd worked this thing out, and there it was up there, and I read it and I just went, it fits, it matches, it's beautiful. It changes this, which is a transaction, to a gift, which is that it needs to be moved forwards. You need to do that. If you don't do that, this happens, or people just keep things, and then money thing, people take, they take, and that's what money does. Whereas if you give it, suddenly money becomes this incredibly different psychological thing, because you give,
yes,
and then people will give you more, and you get more stuff, and you go, well, I've got more stuff, more money. Right, I'll just give more. Oh, what? More money, more stuff. Oh my God, I've got to get rid of it. I've got to get rid of it. And so that's what would happen. You get these potlatch parties.
Time from 5 minutes ago, please.
Yeah.
From when you start now.
Yeah.
how you were describing the giving as a joy,
Giving us the joy. Yeah.
because you're so far ahead of everybody else,
No.
and you've kind of thing with the fingers as well, but this is the first time that I understood it.
Right.
And then different people have different inroads.
Yeah, I know.
Like, for example, the not hoarding bit.
Oh.
My Christian folks, for example, they'll know the story of how the Israelites were freed from their slavery in Egypt. But they had to be prepared until they could actually inhabit the land of Israel. So they had to, supposedly, it's symbolic, 40 years, traipse through the desert, and how God was feeding them. It's a crazy story. Every morning, something dewy, sweet, whatever. I forgot even what it was called, what the texture of it was, as manna. And they would have just enough for the day. If they wanted to hoard it for the next day, it would start to stink and it had worms in it or something. It was terrible. So to really trust that, to share it and to just, anyway, that piece, they'll have heard it, and this is kind of primed, and maybe find other stories where the priming has already happened. Or my Christian friends would probably all agree that everything they have and are has been given them anyway. They may not remember it as they're buying their shares and trying to avoid taxes or whatever they might do. Why else would they hire an accountant? But it might be worth finding all those different inroads. Maybe my Hindu friends would have other stories. So that's a big piece.
Wow.
Helping people to get into that space where you are, where it's obvious and joyful, and it's something that can be trusted even as your nest egg.
The nest egg is each other. That's the trick.
By the way, this is such a big quote. I'm writing it down, but maybe you want, the nest egg is each other. That's going to be on the website. And we're much safer than all the money that's being devalued and all kinds of things. Anyway.
Exactly. That's exactly right. And in fact, if you look at actually how insurance works, that is how insurance works. Look, Sqale doesn't actually change how money works. It's just revealed how it works. and we just, instead of it being treated as a thing, we treat it as a vector as it is, without any of the extra package, and it's just more efficient to give because we're giving money. That's what we're actually doing. We're always giving. So insurance is, you think that you're saving, and then eventually, you're saving all this money in a pension. It's not. When you put the money into the pension pot, it's literally going to all the people that are old right now. Okay, who have got pensions now. It's just that people think, oh, it's for me. No, it's not. It's for the people currently. And what they're trying to do is currently calculate, right, in 25 years' time, there'll be this number of people and there'll be this amount of money and there'll be this number of young people. So therefore, you should get a certain amount of money when you're old. Okay, that's how it works. But actually, it's always current. It's only the money right now. So it's this bizarre illusion because we think about it as a thing, then therefore selfishness and the exchange and all of that mindset is just like torrid. But that's why we've got this crazy crap world. But the other one is it's quite different. And we just haven't had the mechanism, literally the mechanism to track it. We do. It's called a phone. All right.